Well, good morning, everyone. It is episode number 39 of the Coronavirus and the Independent Retailer. You would think I wouldn't need to look at this little board to be able to tell you that. I'm Bob Nagan, and I'm your host this morning. And today we're going to be talking about the Retailer Accountability Blueprint and what it means to you, because this is a really, really important concept. And it is worth thinking about and worth exploring. So I hope you'll stay with us. But before we get there, I want to tell you that I am super, super excited that today we are releasing a brand new program. It's called the Add-On Masterclass. Now, as we've been talking about these last couple days, yesterday or Tuesday on the community forum, foot traffic is going to be down, right? Stores are opening slowly. People are limiting the number of people in stores. People are going to be uncomfortable shopping. So foot traffic is going to be down, which means you have to do everything in your power to get your average sale up. There's lots of ways to do it, several ways to do it, but really the one of the most effective ways is to get your people to be experts at adding on during the sale, adding on at the counter with impulse items. Adding on is a great way to give your customers better service and make more money. And money is important right now. I think we can all agree on that. So the whole program is a half hour long. So if you buy it today, you can watch it over lunch and start using it with your team this afternoon. And even better yet, not better yet, but it is an inexpensive. Your investment is not great. Normally, the add-on masterclass is $97, but right now it's only $47. Only $47. So imagine that. Having a tool to teach your team how to be experts at adding on. What would that mean to you and your business, to your sales, to your customers' experience? And I think that you can agree that it would be really, really helpful. And of course, like everything we do, you get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. So it's only $47. It's only a half hour of your time. You've got a money-back guarantee. The upside is huge. The downside doesn't exist at all. So I would encourage you to buy it today and get into it and start making money from the information in it. Check your emails, and that's where you're going to find a link to buy. But I hope you'll choose to make that investment. Free is good, but an investment in the right information, the right skills is even better. So anyway, that's that. Now let's talk about the Retailer Accountability Blueprint. Are you yelling at us, honey?
Yeah,
Show the poster. I don't have the poster.
I think she's printing it.
Okay. Usually when somebody's yelling here in the house during the podcast, it means that something's not working correctly. But one of the things that you get when you invest in the add-on masterclass is this awesome add-ons poster. And what this poster does, it is a tool to help you get your team thinking about appropriate add-ons. So the whole thing was built to really, to get your team thinking, not for you to tell them to add on and then they go, I don't know how to add on. I don't know what to add on. I don't feel comfortable adding on. It's to give you the tools to get your team mentally, emotionally, and skillfully involved with the whole process. So thank you, honey. So anyway, all right, going back. So this idea of the Retailer Accountability Blueprint. When people join the Platinum Mastermind Group, this is almost always where their first meeting sort of goes in their head. The Platinum Mastermind Group is a group of super, super smart, super successful people. You have to apply to get in. You have to be accepted. Not everybody's accepted. It's not a low ticket program, $12,000 for the year plus the travel. But often, if not usually, when people join the Platinum Mastermind group, they are a self-described hot mess. They put so much energy into growing their business that pretty soon the business, and they're smart, pretty soon the business gets bigger than them, bigger than their ability to manage all the moving parts. And so when they learn the Retailer Accountability Blueprint, they now have a new framework to look at their business through, a new framework to look at it with. And super, super valuable. And the reason that I'm sharing it today in today's podcast is, as we've talked about, you are now in a really, really wonderful position in that if you've been closed, you're now opening. 3 months ago, there were very few applicants out there, right? Unemployment was incredibly low. Now unemployment's incredibly high. So you have a great pool of people to choose from. The Gap just declared bankruptcy. 8,000 people are out of work. I gotta believe one or two of them would be perfect for you. So anyway, I thought I'd share the Retail Accountability Blueprint for you to give you something to think about in the next couple days, or when you start thinking about who you want to bring back, what your business you want, what you want your business to look like, and what kind of culture do you want to have? Do you want to have a culture that's stressed out? Do you want to have a culture where everybody's running around like a chicken with their heads cut off? Or do you want a culture where everybody knows what they're doing, everybody knows how to do it, and you just get to sort of manage the show? And I hope you're asking about the latter. So, a typical organization chart like you would learn in business school looks like this. There is a leader, and then people report to the leaders, and people under them report to the leaders. That is a traditional organizational chart. But then Gino Wickman, very, very wisely, created a new type of organizational chart. And in his, what he created it because what he found when he worked in his family business was his dad had all these ideas, but wasn't able to get the ideas to work. And so what Gino realized is you didn't need one person in charge. You needed one person who was a visionary, one person who was responsible for the ideas, for the energy, for the culture. And usually in a retail business, the visionary is the owner. But what Gino did in EOS, the Entrepreneurial Operating System, was he added somebody in the middle here. We call this person an integrator, because that integrator's job is to integrate the visionary's vision for the company into the company. So this is the person who is responsible for getting stuff done. Here at Whizbang Training, I am the visionary. Ask anybody on our team. I have more ideas, and they're all brilliant, by the way, just off the charts brilliant. I have more ideas than you can shake a stick at. But if it was up to me to get all these ideas put into action, they would all fizzle out rather quickly. So Susan is our implementer. That's what we call it, implementer. Susan implements. Susan and I get together with the rest of our leadership team, and we make decisions, and then Susan's job, my job is to come up with the ideas. Susan's job is to make sure that they happen. Actually, it's Susan and Aubrey. So this is EOS. This is called the accountability chart in EOS. So that's sort of a version 2. But now what we've done here at Whizbang Training is we've created a version 3 of the accountability chart, and we call it the Retail Accountability Blueprint. And so you have a visionary who is the owner. You have an implementer who is responsible for managing the work, making sure all those great ideas, that the right ones get chosen, and then that gets done. And then typically there are 4 different lines. And one is store, one is finance, one is merchandising, and one is buying. So, you see what's happening? Those are the charts. That's the retail accountability blueprint. Now, this is where it gets interesting and where it gets valuable to you. These are just diagrams. There are two things to think about, two key concepts. One is roles and the other is souls. A role is the work that needs to be done. A store manager is a role. A buyer is a role, right? It's something that needs to get done. A soul, S-O-U-L, make sure I write that down just to be clear. S-O-U-L is a discrete person. Somebody, a person, a soul. And here's the mistake that I made for 15 years, 20 years, longer, and a mistake that I see people making all the time is we hire people. So we've got a team, and then we start working out who does what. But what I'm suggesting to you, and when you understand this framework, now you look at it entirely differently. First, you create your retail accountability blueprint. What does it look like? What roles would be in your business if you didn't have anybody working for you right now? So you build the retail accountability blueprint first. You figure out what work needs to be done. You assign it to a role, right? So we start by looking at what does our business look like ideally? And then you start to put the souls into the roles. Not the other way around. It's not take all the people you have and divide the work. It's figure out the work and then put the right people into, put the right soul into the right role. Now, why is that relevant right now? Because typically, this chart for in a retail accountability blueprint, a chart for an independent retailer like you, focuses very, very, very strongly on that store line, right? You have a manager, you have training, you have... Thank you, fellas. You know, that's the problem with it. We can't edit this out. There we go. But typically, it's very, very heavy on the floor people, right? This is the shift that we're making. Used to be the job of marketing was to drive people into the store, and then your team would sell them stuff. Now, everybody, the whole thing has been shaken up. So what I'm suggesting to you, when you start to think about bringing people back, you may have some new roles. You may need less people in your store line. You may, whereas in the past you may have needed 6 frontline employees, sales associates. Now you may only need 4 sales associates, but you need a webmaster. You may need a role that is someone who is responsible for making sure your social media live is taken care of so that you don't have to deal with all of the stuff. You know, our boys, Nagan Brother Media, they do all of this work. I don't do the editing. I don't set up the set. They do that. So the point there is that this retail accountability blueprint is changing dramatically for independent retailers. And the thing that I want you to think about in the next few days is going back, what is my vision for my culture? Am I going to continue to do live social media? Am I going to continue to build out my e-commerce presence? Do I need to hire somebody like Management One to help me with my inventory so that I can do the things that I do best? Do I need to hire a WizBank certified retail coach? The point is that you have a perfect opportunity to reinvent yourself right now. And when you think about that reinvention, it's wonderful to think about it and create a vision and write it down, But one of the key parts of your being successful at building that dream job is the Retail Accountability Blueprint. Now, if you want to know more about the Retail Accountability Blueprint and that whole, we're talking about bigger structural stuff. Our Master Plan Advantage program is a wonderful way for you to get your hands dirty in that. You can learn about it on our website. There is special pricing on it right now. But I know lots of you are thinking about, okay, there is a new normal emerging, and what do I want my business to look like? And I felt that I would be remiss if I didn't talk to you about this incredibly valuable framework. Now I'm looking at it all the time to make sure that I have it right. I have this incredibly valuable framework for you to help you build out your business for the future. All right. So again, the add-on masterclass. We are super excited about it. And, again, it's got a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's only $47. It only takes a half hour to go through. You get a handy-dandy poster. It's an incredible value. I hope you'll give it a shot. And I'm Bob Nagan, and I hope to see you tomorrow morning at 9:30.